Welcome to Kitchen Table Conversations, a series of short and shareable conversation starters for those of us who have or love and support people with a complicated and beautiful brain. Here's your host, Angela Geddes.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Kitchen Table Conversations. I'm your host, Angela, and thanks so much for tuning in today. Today is an interesting day. It's a very special day for some people, and then it's kind of not so special for others, and I guess it's a day for all the feels. I suppose if you're blissfully and happily in love, Valentine's Day can be a very special day. And one certainly worth celebrating. But then there's also people who kind of feel like every day should be Valentine's Day. And we really should be demonstrating the kind of appreciation for the special people in our lives all the days, not just on these special and sometimes quite commercialized days that we recognize. So Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day, Christmas Day, of course. All kinds of things like that. So there's a variety of different opinions, and like most of the things in life, there's no right or wrong. There's a personal preference. So if today's the day that you really, really love to go out of your way to spend your time and maybe even a little bit of money to make it special, then go for it. And if today's not that day for you, that's okay as well. And also, I think we need to take time to recognize that Valentine's Day, just like Christmas time, for some can be, the loneliest time of the year. And Valentine's Day can also be that, blatant, nonstop reminder of what you don't have in your world. And I think I just need to take a minute to acknowledge that for me personally, it's been a pretty rough week. In our circle, we've lost two very good friends who left us way too early, and we're heartbroken and we're in shock. And, it's so cliche to take this time to say, wow, things like this really help you to stop and think and kind of reevaluate your life and the important things in it, and certainly the important people in it. And, these two people who just passed away led remarkable lives. We're very grateful for our role within them. And, we're just through one service, and honestly, there was just standing room only in the funeral home. And I'm anticipating that the next one will even be the same. And I think that it's very clear that it's that kind of thing that really helps you to kind of evaluate the life that you live, right? So years ago, a very good friend of mine had on her computer a little message that said, "There are many ways to measure success, and not the least of which is the way your children describe you to their friends when you're not in the room." So that I stole from my friend, Lorraine Overbo, and I put it on my computer as well. And it was sort of my guiding light, I guess, my compass. One of the things that's really, really important to me. The rest of the world can say what they want, but the way my children see me and understand me and perceive me has been a very, very important guidepost in my life. Another really important message that I learned years ago was if you want to live a rich and meaningful life, one way to do it would be to write your own eulogy and then live backwards. And I thought, that really resonated with me because, what is it that you want people to say about you when you're gone? And recognizing that we're all flawed individuals and none of us are perfect, and we certainly make mistakes and we make decisions that maybe we wouldn't do again. But generally speaking, what is it that people would say about you? And I think that that's a really humbling and an important message to ponder. And it helps us to, kind of reevaluate some of our personal angst, maybe our defensiveness, maybe our things that we take personally, some things that we get upset about, maybe we hold some grudges, maybe we hold on to some anger and resentment, and maybe we have to heal from things that have happened to us in the past. But healing takes some effort and some awareness, and the acknowledgement that we all do have, none of us. Another good friend of mine, Dwayne Steele, a good friend of Jamie's actually, and now a good friend of mine, I remember him saying around our kitchen island one time, I don't think any of us get through this life unscathed. And it's true. Life is beautiful, and life is full of wonderful moments and people. But it's also very hard at times. And as I said, this week has been very hard for so many people. So I'm taking time to think about, in particular on Valentine's Day, that this is going to be a really tough day. So if people need a hug, reach out and offer one. And again, there's no right or wrong. There's no rules on how we have to acknowledge, if we even want to acknowledge this day. But I hope that you find some love and comfort in whatever you do. So music is a big inspiration for me. Obviously, if anybody knows me, you know that I'm quite connected to the music family. And music and lyrics and songs are very powerful to me, and I thought I would take a minute to reflect on a couple of them. So for Valentine's Day, if you are alone and you've struggled from maybe a recent breakup, I suggest that you take a listen to Miley Cyrus's song called Flowers. And I think that it's just so important to remember that we can buy ourselves flowers. We can write our own names in the sand. We can honor ourselves. We can talk to ourselves, and hopefully we can do so positively. We can enjoy our own company. We can go dancing by ourselves. We can dance in the kitchen if we'd like. We can hug ourselves and hold our own hands. And sometimes we can love ourselves better than other people have demonstrated. So that's an important message, and sometimes a powerful song that maybe some of you might appreciate. So I would recommend that. And then on a more somber, more reflective note, that can be that a much needed reminder around how to create a really purposeful and meaningful life. The song is called Standing Room Only, and we witnessed it this week. I anticipate witnessing it again next week at our next service. I just can't think of a better way to demonstrate the impact that you've had in this life. And I mean, that's certainly not the goal. The goal is not to for the accolades. The goal is to actually live every day in line with the things that are important to you. Live towards your values and let those be your compass. And in our therapy services, we do use a very strength-based and a very values-focused approach. We use the modality acceptance commitment therapy in most of the work that we do, and we find it to be very, very helpful because it is very values-based. And we find, and the research finds, that if you do live in line with your values, if you value family, for example, but then get frustrated with family and hurt by them, and then, protect yourself and avoid family, we do that for a reason, and that's to protect ourselves. But actually, we're kind of counterproductive in that we're moving away from the things that are important to us rather than securing those ties that are necessary for those long-term relationships to withstand the tests of time and some of the ups and downs of life. So if you need a little inspiration or something to remind you of the important things in life, I do encourage you to have a listen to his song called Standing Room Only. And within it, it talks about him wanting to live a life like a dollar in the clock on the wall, don't own me. Shine a light like mama's front porch when I'm lost and lonely. Start forgiving and start forgetting, and live a life so that when I die, there's standing room only. Just standing room only. No more grudges. Don't hold on to my regrets. Just let them go. I want to learn how to say a lot more yes and a lot less no. I want to dance and shout out loud, and I want to come alive. Don't want to be the guy too cool to laugh and too scared to cry. So I hope that you find that song, a little bit inspirational, but I do encourage everyone to take this Valentine's Day to demonstrate some love towards ourselves. And what I mean by that is to, ask ourselves some questions and ask ourselves if we're living the life that we want to be, and what is it that we can do in the next little bit, despite our circumstances, which might be very, very painful right now. And I know they are for our circle. They're very painful, but there are some things we can still do simultaneously, and we can feel more than one feeling at the same time. And we can do things to make even the most painful circumstances more manageable. We can do two things at the same time. So I'm going to leave it with that. I will post some links to a couple of songs and some information to help further inspire you on the website, and I encourage you to check back with that. And as always, if there are, things that you're struggling with, if you're experiencing, complicated grief or long-term feelings of angst and uneasiness, reach out. There are people there that can help support you, hopefully within your friend group. But there are mental health services that are focused on not necessarily mental illness, but mental wellness, right? I really firmly believe that we all need somebody to talk to once in a while, and I benefit it from myself. I am very well supported through a strong group of family and friends, but I also appreciate speaking to a therapist once in a while that can objectively challenge me in the ways that I need to be challenged in order to help me live my best life. So I'll leave it at that, and thank you once again for tuning in, and I hope you bring this conversation back to your kitchen tables. With many thanks, Angela.